Welcome to the Brett Davis Podcast. Well, good evening. We're going to be talking to a gentleman tonight that I've known for how many years?
Gosh, close to 10 maybe?
Seems longer. Robert Moreno, who was a reporter, phenomenal writer. I always liked to read his column in the Star News. Was there anybody else you wrote for?
Just little freelance gigs here and there, but primarily with the Star News. It was my primary gig.
Well, I was a fan, and we've stayed in touch off and on through the years. It's hard to believe it's been that long. I don't know how long it's been since we've talked in person. But I got the news that you were running for the Southwestern College Board's, is it seat 1?
Yes, correct. Yeah, I'm stepping out. Obviously, I stopped being a reporter, for a few years now, and wanted to try the political realm. So here I am, seat 1. Southwestern College used to be at-large elections, and now they're district-based elections. So seat 1 pretty much now encompasses all of the National City District and most of Northwest Chula Vista. Not all of it, but a good chunk of it.
So being a reporter, how do you think that helped you currently with where you're going, trying to get this position?
It helped me in 2 ways, I think. I think number 1 is relationships I've built over time. People already know me in the community. It's not like I have to go out there and be a brand new person that no one's heard of. And then number 2 is just that I have that trust of the people that know me already, right? I already have that credibility. They know what kind of person I am, and I think that will help and translate into my campaign.
Well, I mean, you're very definitely known in the community of the South Bay and Chula Vista. What are some of the reasons that you felt the need or the passion to get into politics?
Well, I didn't have that passion. I didn't feel like eventually I was like, scouting out the landscape, and I said, okay, I'll try it. But it wasn't, and I jumped in at the last minute, when the filing deadline was kind of close to ending. So I jumped in the last minute. It took a lot of, thought behind it. But I finally decided to make the jump because I've given back to my community so many times with community service. I've served on several boards and commissions, nonprofit boards. I've been, helping wherever a hand is needed, right? And so I said, what other greater impact now than to actually be an elected official and have actually get to make the actual decision instead of lobbying for a decision, right? And as a reporter, a lot of times too, I saw that I'm probably going to get some heat for this, but I saw that elected officials or politicians, if you want to say, don't really listen to the constituents, right? So, as a reporter, I saw that firsthand, and I'm like, man, I want to help out my community by listening to the community.
So would you say as a whole that's true, or would you say, because I know a lot of politicians too, and I have to tell you the ones I know are very effective. I mean, we have Richard Bailey in Coronado, who's very involved with the community of Coronado. Guy that comes to mind was Mayor of Chula Vista, Steve Padilla, who I was a big fan of during his tenure when he was mayor. Always, I mean, yeah, Steve, like a lot of people, he didn't win his second term, but I think he was on course his first term, and he was really involved with the city of Chula Vista. And I think some of those years were really good growing years. People like Greg Cox, Shirley Horton, people like that, I think were really good mayors for their time. And it seemed like they were very involved with the constituents, but for Southwestern College, that's a whole different situation because now it's education. It's as you know, Southwestern College is a very important key of Chula Vista, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a key in so many ways, not just educational wise, but also with the job force. I think it employs, it's I think top 5 of the most employed people in employees in Chula Vista. So it ranks there. So it's also an economic hub. It has a lot of and then when students, branch out once they leave Southwestern College, they go where you find their career and go wherever, but they always come back to Chula Vista.
Well, there's a lot of good things going on in Chula Vista. So tell me, what is your plan or what is your goal for what you're running for? What do you think is needed at Southwestern College?
First and foremost, my main platform is improving the transfer rates at Southwestern College. They've been historically low. And even when I was there, I mean, I went there.
Did you go there too?
Yes, I'm an alum. I went
Wow.
there in the Yeah, a while ago. I'm not gonna date it, but
That's kind of neat. You're an
yeah.
alumni that's running for the college board. That's
Well,
great.
yeah, and that's how I became a reporter, was through the Southwestern College Sun and everything like that.
And
So
Max Branscombe was an individual that we honored last year at our teacher event as a legend, because that paper has done a phenomenal job with it.
yeah,
Max
he's
did a phenomenal job. He just did, and he's very passionate. But it has a, when you mention it, it means something to you because you went to school there. You were involved with the Sun, probably a lot of other things you were involved with while you were there. Why? Now you said that the typical graduation rates, was it graduation rates or what was it?
transfer rates.
Transfer rates. Now, isn't it that, aren't the transfer rates at most junior colleges kind of like low anyway? Or is there something different about Southwestern College?
Well, I can't speak for the all the other community colleges because I haven't done the research about it. But for Southwestern College, from my experience and from just on the campaign trail speaking to other students, they're supposed to be there, 3.5 years, just getting their GEs and filling their requirements. And then when they get to the end of their transfer map, you have a map. Once you get to the map, it's like, oh, you have 2 or 3 more classes to take. They take those 2 or 3 more classes. Oh no, you're missing a credit here and there. And then so the student gets discouraged and doesn't want to pursue their education anymore. Or for a lot of us, minorities, we're forced now to continue our education or just go to work because we got to support, our
Sure,
family,
right.
so they end up dropping out and either come back 10 years later or don't ever come back. And so I think that was the issue with me way back when I was going to Southwestern College, and that issue still exists today. So to me, nothing has really changed with that. And not every student wants to go to the university and transfer, and I totally get that. But I'm talking to specifically those students who want to transfer to the Cal State or UC. There's it's I don't know if the who's to blame, if there is someone to blame or the communication is broken there. But I'd like to fix that issue and get our students transferred along the way so that they can achieve their dreams faster, achieve their dreams effectively, and put them to work in their career immediately so they can provide for their family immediately and on a higher scale.
Well, as you know, in the country alone, we're hearing that there's a need for the trades, huge need, and that a lot of people don't really want those jobs, and that a lot of these companies, that need people with trade skills, plumbers, electricians, mechanics. Um, there seems to be a shortage. There's a shortage of everything, I think, as far as employees go. And not everybody's meant to go to college, I don't think. I think, we need good mechanics. We need good electricians and plumbers. And I'm sure there's other trades I'm not even thinking about. But it seems like we're going to be in trouble down the road if we don't start investing back into the people for that. And I know some of it is going on, but there still seems to be a need, because I'm hearing a lot of companies saying they're having to go out of the country, which
Right.
is not bad. If you got to do it, you got to do it. But we have a lot of talent that a lot of kids that are going to school a lot of times change their career choices like 4 or 5 times before they graduate. And the trades, a lot of them within a year, you could be working and you're getting paid on the job as you're going through that. And there's no debt.
Right.
And a college debt is a big thing that's over a lot of people's heads as well. It's not cheap to go to school.
Right.
Education is important. But do you think college is for everybody?
That's a good question. I think no, I don't think it's for everybody. I think it's for those that, obviously want to go to college, right? Or
Right.
just try it out. Or maybe it's not for you at that specific moment maybe it's not for you when you're 18 and 19, but maybe it's for you when you're 34, 35, or 46, 47, or heck, even 60 or 70. Maybe it's not just for you at that moment. Life happens, our maturity gets delayed a little bit, you just ambitious at a later time, but as speaking to the trades, I know that's definitely lacking. That's also something that I'd like to push and promote more at Southwestern College. And I love the trades, and like, school is not for everybody, but maybe the trades is an option. I know Southwestern College has a fantastic nursing program as well, a fire academy, a police academy. So
Right.
there's many routes a student can take, and not necessarily just do the traditional, do my 3 years, get my AA, transfer to get a bachelor's and a master's. There's just so many routes that students can take, and I would like students to just meet with some sort of create a path, or create more of a communication, or maybe where students can explore what they really want to do, and explore what's really out there at Southwestern College, and get it out of their head of what the traditional path is. If the traditional path is for you, then that's great, but if not, here's what we can offer you. Here's what's going to get you in and out quickly but effectively, right? And so we need to promote that.
Well, I agree. Southwestern is a great community college. I know a lot of people that went there. I went there myself 100 years ago, but I like your energy, and I know how you operate. I've known you through the years. You're very honest. You have a lot of integrity. You're very smart, and you're a good listener. That might be because of your reporting skills, or a strong mother. But I think you're going to do well, and I'm glad that you're running, because I think it's always important to get people that know the city, and also have you come from that background, which is very important. I think it is. Don't you agree?
No, I agree. You need to be invested in your community to understand the needs of your community.
What would you want people out there that's going to vote, and hasn't done voting by mail yet, and maybe is going to go to the polls the old-fashioned way, or maybe you're still voting? What do you want them to know about you that you feel is different than any of your opponents? Do you have an opponent?
Yeah, I have one. Won't speak his or her name. Don't want to give them any more. Don't want to give them any free publicity.
Sure.
But I do have one. If you're interested, you can look up that person.
Sure.
But I don't speak their name. No, I do have one. And what makes me different? I think several things makes me different. There's a lot of things that make me different, but I think I'm not a yes man. I'm not part of the establishment. I'm an underdog. I don't have a lot of endorsements. I don't have a lot of funding. So I'm running this, with the people, for the people who believe in me, right? The community who already knows me. So I think that's the big thing, right? I'm an independent thinker. I will make the best decision for the students, for the staff, and for the campus. I'm not just gonna, vote one way because I owe a debt, or because someone is putting me up there. So I think that's what makes me different from my opponent.
So that's a pretty big area of. We have some people that are on there. Somebody said, Robert, is that Sandra Scheller? And she says, how awesome.
Yes, it's me. Hi, Sandra. Thank you for your support. I think she's a supporter of mine. Didn't know she was going to pop in there, but
no, I'm not mistaken. I mean, she could eventually run for mayor of Chula Vista somewhere down the road. Sandra Scheller, that would be a fascinating run. Sandra, I didn't know you were going to run for mayor down the road. Is that true? She's going to say, I didn't say that, but no, I think people in Chula Vista care about their education. Now, what are you hearing about the university project? Because that's been on the airway, on the map for a while. What are you hearing about for your university? I mean, I've heard Mary Salas mention that there's some things going on with that project. It's been in the works for years. Have you heard anything currently about it?
No, I just heard what's been out there in the media. Basically, I think they're bringing a news, television, film portion,
Okay.
to East Chula Vista,
Right.
with a partnership with SDSU, if I'm not mistaken. But as far as a whole 4-year university, that's been Chula Vista's dream. I haven't really heard much about that.
Well, good. I think that a media facility like that is great. Hopefully, there's a lot of work with Mexico, because we're so close by, and sharing stories on both sides of the border, I think, would be very powerful.
Yeah, no, and we have students coming across the border all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Bicultural professors, so that's we forget about that aspect, about our educational aspect, and how diverse and cultural we are at Southwestern College. And I'm not just speaking just across the border, just in general.
Sure.
It's a diverse campus and all facets of students and staff and faculty, and it's a beautiful campus as well.
So we have an email down there for people that want to. Is that a website or just an email?
Yeah, it's my campaign email address. It's Moreno, Moreno, the number 4 SWC @gmail.com. gmail.com.
Well, I thank you for your time and being here. Again, we like the fact that you're running. I think Chula Vista needs you. You're a breath of fresh air. I think you're going to do a great job if you get in, and we hope you, we wish you the very best. And I appreciate you because, I mean, you came right from work to be here, and I appreciate that. Hey, this guy's a good guy, somebody that I've known for a while. I don't typically endorse people, but I endorse him, and I think he'll do a great job if you support him and vote for him. He's a really honest guy. He's hardworking. What you see is what you get. He's not a typical politician, and I don't mean that in a bad way. He's one of us. He's one of the people, and I think that's important for people to remember that politicians work for the people.
Right.
They sometimes forget that they work for the people. And you're humble enough to where I think you'll be very impactful, and I'm glad you're in Chula Vista, and I'm glad you're running for Southwestern College.
Yeah, well, thank you, Brett. Thank you for having me on here. I'd say I'm a fan of your show. I've seen a few episodes, haven't seen them all, but I'll tell you this: when I was made aware of your podcast, what was it been a few years already? Yeah. I told no one knows this, but I told myself internally, I'm going to be on that podcast, but I'm going to be on there without asking. I'm going to get invited onto that podcast. So you speak things into existence and they happen. I just want you to know that. So you speak things into existence and they happen.
You put it out to the universe.
I put it out to God.
There you go. Everybody, you know what? Again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
thank you for your hard work.
Vote November 8th if you or before then if you have your mail ballot. I'm on the back page of your ballot, Southwestern College area number 1. I'm at the top. So check or bubble in the Robert Moreno box, and I appreciate your vote, and I won't let you down, and please hold me accountable once I'm elected.
Everybody have a great time. Have a good evening. We got more to come on the show tonight. We're doing I think 4 more interviews. We don't typically do that many interviews in a night, but I wanted to wrap all this up before the election and for Halloween. I want to thank my sponsors, Attorney King, Sequan Casino and Resort, IB Fitness, and Bona Fichetta, the garage in Coronado. Really good Italian food. If you ever get a chance, go into Bona Fichetta. Also, we're talking to some new sponsors that I can't say their names yet, but they are coming. Everybody take care, be nice to each other, and let's be optimistic and work together on making the world a better place. Everybody take care.